Ready for football are they, and ready for football are we as the Bears get set to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Not something you expect to see from the opening kickoff, that's for sure, and they will start at the 40. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus, the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now it's Mixon running right. He'll get 3 up to midfield. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. 4th down now after a loss of 2. The defense was ready for the run-pass option, diagnosed it perfectly.
Not only did they stack him up at the point of attack, but he was met by a host of light-colored jerseys.
And they call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. Throwing to start the drive. Lovell. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And that's caught inside the 35. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A big play that time through the air. 36 yards.
I think this defense was still trying to recover from that last play, so you wonder if they were ready for this one. You have to imagine their defensive coaches are yelling at them to get focused, because if they don't, more plays like that will result in giving up points.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. This is shaping up to be a really nice-looking drive to get the season underway here.
And how long do you think that they actually have been plotting this drive? I'm talking about the coaching staff, right? They've been thinking about this for a while now.
And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Bears are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And all the way to the 25 before he's hit and dropped. That's his longest run of the first quarter. And, Charles, we talked before the game about them needing to establish the run game. They'll be looking for more of that.
And they got to the perimeter. So that tells me that that's part of the game plan of what they want to get done today. So they'll have some complementary runs where he'll run it to the inside. But it appears that when they want the big yardage, they think they can get to the outside and make it happen.
Now it's 2nd and 9. Shotgun now for Lance. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Working from the gun, Lance. That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least, it'll be 4th down. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. That's pulled in at the 32. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Going right back to Beckham here, complete.
And that's how you pick up a 1st down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
And he stopped immediately there. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties. And he's able to knock that one away.
And Jackson throwing once more. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And, Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in Week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks? And he lost the football, and the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. So a first quarter fumble in the rain, and this isn't supposed to let up. They've had flash flood warnings just west of here, so they better get used to this.
And it's hard to do real early in the game because you're so amped up and you're trying to do so much He's got to get used to it, though. You've got to focus in on the ball, make sure you're taking care of it. That one cost him.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Myles Jack. And a great return here gets this one all the way down to the 26-yard line. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they found a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's Lance. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
Mixon with a first down carry. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Safety Grant Delpit up to make the play. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Play action. Now it's Lance. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And the Vikings are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Here's 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Lovell. He sets to fire deep. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
So many times we see teams go on the road and want to lean on their running game, but this crew just announced they're going to try and air it out and make hay downfield.
They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here. 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Lovell. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
That's at least a couple of times that they've tried to stretch the field here in this first quarter. They haven't been successful yet, but obviously they're going to keep trying, and maybe they'll find some seams underneath as this game progresses.
And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and the Bears take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Now a throw here to his running back, and he's taken down inside the 30. Back in Chicago, ready for the second quarter. It's the Bears in possession. No score after 1 on EA Sports. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Lance to throw it. big loss here as he's taken down. DeForest Buckner with a sack, the former number 7 overall pick.
Well, here's where having mobility sometimes can work against you as a quarterback. He thinks he can retreat and outrun the pressure. But that time, they zeroed in on him and took him down for a big loss, partner.
A really big loss. And he fires one that's intercepted. It's C.J. Henderson picking it off. And the Vikings force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football? We're not seeing it right now.
Buying time to his left. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson. Trying to find his tight end, Kelsey, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
And that's now the 2nd time he's picked off a pass here in the first half alone. Again, another great read defensively, and you just see him get in the right position to make the play and get his guys the football back.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. This goes out wide from Mixon. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. He felt the pressure coming there. That was a good job of just making something out of nothing, so to speak.
Yeah, took the hit and still made the play. You know, when we talk about runners, all right, on running plays, runs after contact, we call that getting dirty yards, tough, gritty ones. To me, that's like the version of a dirty pass. He knows he's going to get smacked, yet still delivers the football and picks up good yardage.
They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. Now the screen only good for 3 that time, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
Boy, that one was well read defensively. And this is all about diagnosis as a safety and being decisive because he saw it setting up in front of him, able to knife through there and make the play.
Now we've got a field goal coming up here for Chicago. And Boswell's kick is good. And it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them, that's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown, Vikings. Well, for all the deserved accolades Lamar Jackson gets for his running prowess, his deep ball, it's really a thing to behold as well.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. And the worst fears won't realize is that one turned into a long touchdown.
This is Tony Pollard. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Now a play fake. Lance. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Grant Delpit. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
Well, from what we've seen thus far, this is not a formula for winning football. When you have more turnovers than points scored, that's a tough way to try and win a game.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Lovell. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Lovell. Here's Fuller with a catch. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. And he has now hit number 500. Charles, that is his 500th NFL career catch.
Definitely worthy of applause, but I remember when 500 meant you were going to the Hall of Fame. Nowadays, in today's football, 500 puts you on the path, a significant number.
On 1st down, Lovell. Flushed out right. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. A great play there. There to make the grab. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and that pushes the lead up to 11. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. This fielded right at the goal line. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
And they fake the handoff. Now Lance. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Foyesade and Ulikin. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Well, we heard all week that they were going to put the football in the air a lot. The problem is that is now 4 interceptions, Charles, that he has thrown in this first half. How do you treat a situation? What do you say to your quarterback right now?
Boy, that's an interesting question, because a lot of it depends on the head coach and the people making the decisions. You have to know your quarterback and know if he's met.
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Vikings are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This one will come out to the 25 as Pollard is going to elect not to return it. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Off of play action, here's Lance. He'll find his tight end, that's Waller. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll hand things off to the coach, Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have a look back at a very intriguing opening weekend in the NFL. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. 5 yards remain on second down. On play action, Lance. He'll buy some time right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Vikings are going to have the football at their own 1 yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Well, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. The Vikings send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10. First and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. That is Nick Bosa from out on the edge who worked his way in for the sack. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Open man, completes it to Claypool. And all the way down to the 7-yard line. And with 1 second left, they get the timeout. And they'll have a chance to kick the field goal before intermission. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Boswell's kick is good. So we reach halftime here at our first Monday Nighter of the season. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Steps away to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. He's got a man. Complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A big connection on that one. 39 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Keeps himself upright. And this is thrown to the sideline. No receiver in the area, though, and that's going to bring out a flag. In the pocket, chucked it away. Flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field. Have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Off play action. Lovell. Flush to his right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Now on 3rd and forever, he'll look to throw. Going for the deep ball. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 17. Pretty much everything went their way offensively in the first half, but now an interception on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
As we know, the key to everything here, don't get careless with the football. The problem is you've got to stay aggressive as well, so where's the line between being aggressive and attacking and being overly aggressive? I think they just crossed it on that one.
And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
I think if they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on 1st down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's Lance. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
I'll give them credit for a good read right there because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. And he was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
At the 16-yard line.
2nd and 7. And Lance going to throw. They'll roll him out right. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, second half, no quit in him.
0.
Lance, a quick throw out wide, complete. Touchdown! Chase Claypool, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Bears have cut it to within a score. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time, they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
On the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Pretty important third-quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line. It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Man, I just love being in this stadium. So much history, tradition, so many great teams and games, and we're seeing a pretty good one right now. Hotly contested in the third quarter. And Jackson going to have the first down as he will get to the ground to avoid the contact.
And, Brandon, this is the time of the game when Jackson could really take over. He's got the defense's legs a little bit tired. He's got them on the run.
Yeah, this defense looks gassed, and you're exactly right. Second half with the lead, this is when Lamar Jackson seems to thrive. On first down, it's Allen. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down. Looking to throw on second down. Lovell. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
To throw on third down, Lovell. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Call it a loss of 4 there on the sack. And speaking of the number 4, it brings up 4th down now. I think that time he just maybe held on to it a little too long, CD, because after a couple of seconds in this league, you know those defenders are coming.
And how many times do we talk about complementary football? And we usually talk about does the offense help the defense, does the defense help the offense? I think in this case, does the quarterback help out his offensive line? You only have a certain amount of time to get rid of the football. They can only do so much. On this play, he took him to the limits.
It's not too often you see a holder putting that football down right on the midfield stripe. 60 yards, Charles, but a little bit too much to bite off there.
Yeah, it's good to show confidence in your kicker. That might have been just a little bit too much. I'll guarantee you, as you just noted, putting it down on the midfield stripe, the holder's thinking to himself,
That's a long way. Probably not as confident as well.
68 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Joe Mixon. And a solid run down inside the 30. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And he will slide down, but a penalty marker down as well. And it looks like this is going to be all for naught. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. After the penalty, it's Mixon. Trucks over him. And he'll be taken down just shy of the red zone at the 21. A good productive run there on 1st down. He winds up getting 8. Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
Lance with a tap forward on the jet sweep. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So now the field goal unit trots out there for the 3rd time tonight. This is a 49-yard attempt. Right hash. And Boswell's kick is good. And that'll bring him back within 4. He's got 9 points on field goals now. He's made 3 of them. That gets him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And for him, it's not his concern, right? He just goes out there when they call on him and goes ahead and puts points up on the board. But the offense has got to get together and figure out what's stalling their drives, so they have to keep calling on him.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And the last time that they were on the field, a little demoralizing. Missed field goal. You know, always feel like you want to get it in the end zone, but then, oh, well, at least we're going to get 3. Didn't go through the goalpost, so.
It does test the mental processes of a team, though, doesn't it? Because when you miss a field goal, it's amazing how fast they want to turn on the guy kicking the ball. But you need to keep his confidence up, because how many times have we seen games where it comes down to a stretch, and guess what? You need that guy to make the big kick for your team to move on or to win a game. Make sure you keep him happy. Make sure you keep him comfortable.
I'm sure you always treated the kicker nicely, though, right?
You know, truthfully, I did.
Good.
I always did, because those guys, they won us a whole lot of games.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 7. Off the play fake. Lovell. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he will have a Vikings 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. On 1st and 10. Lovell. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Fuller. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Timing is so important on a route like this, because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late, because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
To throw on second down, Lovell. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Azeez Ojulari able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time. Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. Jackson. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That is an absolute backbreaker. That was a design passing play, wasn't a draw. You think you got him stopped, good coverage downfield, and he's able to pick up the first with his legs. Defensively, that kicks into your psyche and hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and here's the thing. Anytime you give up a first down, it hurts you psychologically, but it hurts more when they get it this way, because you've covered everything. He didn't have any place to throw the football. He takes off running and picks it up anyway, and now you have to stay on the field for an extra set of downs.
And really could have used that stop trailing here in the fourth. So first and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They run the counter. Allen, they'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
Two of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on second and goal. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. A great play there with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And the Vikings are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their fourth quarter lead. Whoa. He just yanked that one well to the left and no good. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. Now Pollard. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the fourth quarter. This drive becomes very critical. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Lance looking to throw it. Eluding the pressure right. And now here's another interception. Picked off at the 45. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. Well, that puts a little bit of a wrinkle in their comeback bid.
Yeah, everything had turned around for them, hadn't it? I mean, things were now going their way. But you did mention it's a wrinkle in their comeback bid. It's not the death knell for them by any stretch, but now they've got some extra work to do in order to climb all the way back.
They'll run on first down. It's Allen, and he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. Second and 6. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Flushed out right. First down and more for Jackson. Touchdown, Vikings! Lamar Jackson, 35 yards. And the interception by the Vikings D leads to a touchdown. And he clanks it off the right upright, and it's no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This taken in at the goal line.
The Bears take over first and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And this one too low. We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
The Bears on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Now Lance dumps it off to Mixon, and he's got room. And he takes it all the way down to the 32. A big play there on the catch and run.
He was not the primary target. They expected to get the ball downfield. Instead, checked it down. An old coach of mine used to say to us all the time, when they check it down, that should end the down. In this case, though, he foiled that in a big way and turned it into a big play.
And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Throwing now is Lance. And that'll be complete to Stevenson. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. It's C.J. Henderson picking it off. And the Vikings are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line. The number 7 usually lucky here, not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about 1 game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer the last to do it in 2001 to throw 7 picks. To Allen on the dump off. And he is out of bounds right around the 34. Well, a clear running situation, trying to take time off the clock. He ran the previous play, set that play action up nicely.
Boy, did they ever, because they'd shown the ability to run the football. So now you lose your keys as a defense. You dive for the running play, and they hit them over the top.
On first down, it's Allen, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And with that, our journey begins, Charles. Week 1 in the books. Going to be a great season.
Oh, man, so much to look forward to. Isn't it nice to get a really good game right out of the gate? Preseason behind us, all these games count.